Hey, what's going on guys, XpertFusion here, and the Blackout beta is now about 2.5 days old, about 3 days old actually, and I am having a goddamn blast in this beta. I think this is one of the best battle royales I've ever played, and I've only played a few, you know, Fortnite, PUBG, H1Z1, Minecraft, Hunger Games, even honestly I count that as a battle royale, but this one so far has been, I don't know if I like it more than Fortnite, because the thing is, we've had months and months of Fortnite. Like, I love Fortnite. I think it's a really fun game. I definitely played it a lot less in the past month. I think it had its ups and downs, and it has its moments, of course. Obviously, that's why I play Fortnite. But this game is a completely different game than Fortnite. And a lot of people have been kind of comparing them, but you shouldn't compare them. And people have been comparing it more so to PUBG, actually, which that's a fair comparison, but it still plays such a different way than PUBG does. It still plays like Call of Duty. You come up to somebody, you're still going to have the same sort of drop shotting or jump shotting or sort of mechanics that any Call of Duty would have, and that's what makes Blackout so fun in my opinion, because I think Call of Duty has the best mechanics out of any first-person shooter. I'm just going to straight up say it. I think it's the most smooth, it's the most enjoyable, the best mechanics. I think that's just a lot of people's opinions. I mean, yes, Battlefield has good mechanics, but they're not anywhere nearly as well refined and enjoyable in my opinion as Call of Duty. So giving us those mechanics and the graphics that people are calling out the graphics are not bad. I know people are calling them potato graphics. No, they are actually just fine. The only problem I have with the graphics is the textures. Sometimes the textures don't load in, and then you have bad textures, which makes it look like bad graphics, but that's not bad graphics. That's just meaning your textures haven't loaded in yet. And they are having problems with that, but that's because it's a beta. It's not going to be perfect. But even with that, who really cares about graphics that much? Really, it's not. Gameplay is way more important than graphics. And even with saying that, I still think the graphics are just fine. It's easily the best graphics out of any battle royale game out there. I mean, it's better than PUBG. It's better than Fortnite's graphics. I gotta say, it's better than any other battle royale that we ever had. Now, I don't know if Battlefield 5's graphics are gonna be nicer. I did play the beta. I wasn't a big fan of the game, but I wasn't complaining about the graphics or anything. I don't know how much the graphics compare to this. I think they do have a different art style. I'm not too sure which one you would prefer, but I honestly prefer Call of Duty's, honestly. But this is not what we're talking about today. I just went on a 3-minute tangent about my feelings with the beta so far, but I want to talk about a negative about the beta, something I don't like, something I think needs to be changed, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, and that is armor. So armor was something they introduced into multiplayer, and a lot of people had some complaints about it there as well. People were saying stuff like armor doesn't belong in Call of Duty, it's basically Juggernaut, we shouldn't have something like that, it's unfair, it makes gunfights, you know, unreasonable. But in my opinion, I didn't have that much of a complaint with it because you can shred through armor pretty quickly. It was maybe an extra shot in multiplayer, maybe an extra shot. So I didn't really complain that much. I tended to use Stim Shot or the one that lets you get higher score streaks or whatever. I tend to use those anyways because the extra health isn't that big of a deal to me. It's maybe one extra shot, maybe even half a shot depending on what gun you're using or how much health you have left. So it didn't really I didn't really care that much. But the armor in Battle Royale is such a drastic change. I mean, not only can you use the trauma kits, which give you 50 more health, but you can also use these armor, which there's 3 different tiers of armor. And I don't think the first tier of armor is that big of a deal. The second one becomes a little problematic, and the third one is just completely ridiculous. You can literally put like 3 shots into somebody, and they can shoot and start shooting at you. They can start shooting at you 3 shots later after you put 3 shots into somebody, and they can easily finish you off if you don't have 3 tier of armor, obviously. Even if you land every shot. And I'll show you guys the clip in a second here of my ending of a game. It was pretty close to the end. It was like 6 people left. And this guy just destroys me because he has level 3 armor and I don't. Or I think I did, but it was shredded or something. I did have it previously. Because it does get shredded eventually. You just have to put a lot of ammo into it. So instead of just complaining about it like most people do on the internet, they say, oh, armor sucks, this game sucks, armor's terrible. I'm going to be constructive about it. I'm going to be a normal civil human being, and I'm actually going to give a fix, ideas of how they can fix it in a couple different ways, because I don't know what's perfect. I don't know how the game developers feel it should be. I will be making a video later on talking about other fixes they can be making to the game, because I do feel like there's a couple other things I want fixed. They did in fact say that they will be making an update to armor on Thursday, but how substantial is the update going to be, we don't know until Thursday, obviously, which is tomorrow. So, first things first, I believe the armor this is one way. Either take out the armor completely. That's possible. That's a possibility, because if you take out the armor, it makes it so everyone's in the same playing field. You still have the, you know, bandages to worry about. You still have to heal at the right time and stuff like that. That's fine. But just take out the armor altogether. It's not a thing. Make it inexistent. Personally, I don't like that option because I think armor they already added into the game. It's already a system. Then fine, keep it. They could also completely nerf down all 3 tiers of armor, make the first tier of armor put like less than an extra shot, maybe a second tier, maybe 1 shot sometimes, and then the 3 tier maybe 1.5 shots, something like that. Something very insignificant that's not really that big of a deal, and won't even be that big of a difference between each of the armors. That's fine. Or just take out the 3rd tier of armor altogether, even the 2nd tier, and just put 1 tier of body armor and just make it just called body armor, and it's just like how it works in multiplayer. Maybe a half a shot or 1 shot extra of health, and that's it. That's it. That's all it is. That's all the extra shield protection you get. Or, this is what I really like. So, do a combination of a few of these with something else as well. So what I believe they should do is make it so you don't just hold X and get the shield. Not like that. I like how Fortnite does their shields. Fortnite does their shields so it's in your inventory and you have to hold X when you want it, or hold RT when you want to use it. You have to consume it, right? Make armor the same way. When you want to hold on to it, you have to keep it in your inventory and it's just sitting there. You have to actually manually put it on, and maybe it takes like 8 seconds to put on or something like that. I think that sounds fair. And maybe make it a time limit. Now this sounds interesting to me, but make it like a sort of a time thing, kind of like the perks are in this game. Make it only last for, I don't know, 2 minutes. Give it like an extra shot or 2, and just have 1 tier of armor that does that. That's so simple, because then you have to know when to use it. It takes like 8 seconds to put on yourself, so it's like, okay, you can't just do it whenever in the middle of a gunfight. You have to actually get prepared for it. You have to be like, okay, there's people there. Before I go in, I'm going to put on this body armor, and I'm going to rush them, because I only have 2 minutes of this body armor. And then you go in there, and you shoot people up. Obviously, they can shred it if they shoot the armor enough, and then boom, problem solved. They can do that, they can do a combination of that, but I think either making it so you have to put it on yourself manually, making it timed, or just decreasing the amount of shots it takes to put into the armor, and maybe just having 1 tier itself. I think that's the best way to fix armor as a whole. It makes the game more fair, so people aren't feeling like, wow, I only lost that gunfight because he had 3 tiers of armor and I had 1. Because that sort of a feeling, I get that a lot in Fortnite. I'm going to be honest. I do get that a lot in Fortnite, where I'm here, I'm chilling, I'm running around a corner, and I shoot some guy, and I die from 1 pump in the face. But shield is a lot different. Shield is a lot more common. You get shield all the time. You find mini shields. You can get big shields. You can get chug jugs. You can get the little mushrooms on the map. It's much more common. In this, it's only 3 different tiers of body armor. You might find a lot, yeah, but it's not going to be that common. Not as common as, you know, getting those 3 tiers of armor. And you can't make 1 tier of armor turn into 3 like you could with certain combinations. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of makes the game feel unfair. If somebody gets 3 tiers of armor, it's like OP. And that just makes those mystery box locations with the zombies at them way too good of spots to go to, because they always give you 3 tiers of armor. So they're like the spots you really want to go to, and it just makes, you know, an uneven playing field. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave the clip here just showing me getting absolutely shredded by somebody who had 3 tiers of armor and I didn't. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.